Now, your forecast first, sponsored by orthopedic surgeon Dr. Lawrence Lee. Minimum invasion, maximum result.
Good evening. I'm your local weather authority, Chief Meteorologist Chris Yates. It's been a very hot and humid day, 85 degrees still this hour. Nice looking view on the Brave Law Center camera. Temps are in the mid 80s in Pontiac. It's cool off down to 81 in Galesburg, but 86 degrees in LaSalle, Peru. By tomorrow, patchy morning fog, mostly sunny skies, and then a few clouds in the afternoon. Temperatures looking a little bit warmer, but thankfully the heat index could come down a few degrees. I'll explain with your full forecast coming up. WMBD News at 10 starts now.
Tonight, 3 crime scenes, 2 homicides, all within 30 hours. How Peoria leaders are responding to a recent string of violence.
Also, common household chemicals can be used to create improvised explosives. See where police got a first-hand look at what that can look like and how dangerous it can be.
And I'm Kurt Pegler. Tonight's boot camp stops are at Olympia and Stark County High Schools.
But first tonight, a new roller skating loop is coming to Peoria's Lakeview Park.
And this comes after State Representative Jahan Gordon Booth secured $4 million in state funds for the project. Now, in addition to the roller skating loop, the funds will also go towards building accessible pathways in Donovan Park.
Now, several different Central Illinois roller skating groups have been asking about a new rink to skate for a few years now. A member of P-Town Rollers says she's happy to see her hopes realized.
I have personally emailed, messaged, written actual letters to the Peoria Park District, to the riverfront community, to anybody who will listen to me. So it's just really nice to finally feel like we're getting heard.
Now, there's no official timeline for the rink to be built, but Peoria Park District Executive Director Emily Cahill says sometime next year is a rough estimate.
And we turn now to a crime alert. A teenager is dead after a shooting last night in Peoria's East Bluff. Peoria County Coroner Jamie Harwood says 17-year-old Davi Brown Bay died at a local hospital just after 2:30 a.m. Brown Bay was shot just 7 hours before near the intersection of East Kansas Street and North Wisconsin Avenue. That's near Glen Oak Community Learning Center. As of right now, police do not have any suspects in custody.
And just about 12 hours later, another shooting left one man seriously injured. It happened on East Illinois Avenue around 8 o'clock this morning. There is also no arrest or suspect information available at this time, and the case remains under investigation.
And a 17-year-old boy is being charged as an adult and facing first-degree murder charges for allegedly strangling his mother to death in Peoria yesterday. Avion Tapia appeared via video from the Peoria County Juvenile Detention Center today. Tapia says he got into a physical altercation with his mother, 36-year-old Vanessa Tucker, around 1 a.m. Prosecutors say Tapia ended up with scratches on his back, and he called police 3 hours after the fight. Tucker, who had finger markings on her neck, died just after 5:30 at OSF St. Francis Medical Center in Peoria. Tapia's bond is set at $1 million, and he faces up to 40 years in prison if convicted. Now, those 3 crime scenes all happening in less than 30 hours.
Yeah, exactly, and they all happened within a mile of each other in the city's East Bluff area. Now, WMBD did go out to this area this morning, and neighbors either did not want to talk or they say they didn't hear anything, saying that they were afraid of retaliation.
So we also reached out to local leaders about this string of crimes that left 2 people dead. Now, Tim Riggenbach is the councilman who represents the East Bluff.
And he says it tears his heart, as well as the heart of the community, to see the perpetrators and victims seemingly get younger and younger. WMBD also did reach out to Mayor Dr. Rita Ali, who says, as well as other council members such as Andre Allen, and you can read their responses on our website, ciproud.com.
In the courtroom now, 4 young adults from Peoria charged with secretly planning to steal firearms. This after a federal criminal complaint claims 19-year-old Shalik Ward, 21-year-old Erica Garner, 22-year-old Desmond Hardy, and 23-year-old Terrence Daniels conspired to steal firearms from 6 different locations across central Illinois. Now, the complaint affidavit says that the targeted gun shops were located in Spring Valley, Taylorville, Leroy, Lincoln, Decatur, and Bloomington. Now, if they're found guilty, each person could face up to 5 years in prison and up to $250,000 in fines. All 4 were arrested last Friday. They're now in the custody of the U.S. Marshals.
New tonight, Illinois State Police are investigating after an accidental shooting left a Market Heights teenager dead over the weekend. The shooting happened just before 9:30 Saturday night on Lincoln Road. Peoria County Coroner says 15-year-old Caden Thomas suffered an accidental gunshot wound to the head. He died 2 hours later at OSF Healthcare St. Francis Medical Center. And we're still working to learn more on what exactly happened. And once we have those details, we'll bring them to you both on air and online.
And we're continuing to follow up on the developing story from the Illinois River, where a crane working on the McCluggage Bridge burst into flames yesterday. Now, IDOT officials tell WMBD that it is unclear if the crane fire will cause any delays to the McCluggage Bridge project, which is scheduled for completion come 2025. The bridge will also undergo an inspection process, although it isn't clear how long that process will take exactly. Johnson Brothers Corporation, the construction company handling the bridge work, says in a statement that they are actively working with authorities to determine the cause of the fire. We will update you as more information becomes available.
And from our Capitol Newsroom, the Springfield FBI set off several homemade explosives today.
Now, it's meant to teach law enforcement, first responders, and others about how improvised explosive devices are actually made. And dozens of people came to today's workshop to learn how to handle those.
Interstate Capitol reporter Theodora Coulivares explains.
2, 1.
This is what it looks like when an improvised explosive device goes off. And the Springfield FBI set them off as part of a workshop, making sure law enforcement and other agencies are aware of the chemicals used to make them.
We teach them a classroom portion on the dangers of mixing chemicals. Then we bring them out to the range, we mix the chemicals together and show them what they can do.
Rick Box is the Weapons of Mass Destruction coordinator for the Springfield FBI. He says showing what actually happens when devices explode can be a much bigger benefit than a class alone.
Whenever you actually see the devices go off and you feel the explosion, that's a better learning point for me. Rather than listening to me in the classroom talk all day, I would rather see somebody feel the explosion, see the heat, feel the heat. I think it's better for them, better teaching point.
You can see the damage that these explosive devices cause. And the workshop is meant to better prepare law enforcement, first responders, and other agencies on what to do if they encounter one out in the field.
We hope that if they do enter into a house and they see certain components, that it'll strike their memory and they'll pick up the phone and give us a call so we can figure out, hey, this does look like this type of device they're trying to prepare.
The Springfield FBI says about 88% of their investigations involve bombs or improvised explosive devices. And they're also warning people what to do if they ever encounter one.
Please back away from it immediately. Try to clear the area. Contact the FBI or local law enforcement and we'll come in and handle it. There's no need to put any hands on anything.
Reporting in Pawnee, I'm Theodora Coulivares.
In health matters, on hot and humid days like this, spending even a few minutes outside can be unbearable.
Absolutely, and it's even forcing some businesses to make some adjustments or even close for a few days.
Right, and our chief meteorologist Chris Yates now joins us more. And so Chris, tell us, how hot will it get tomorrow and how can we stay safe out there?
Look, you need to continue to take frequent breaks, especially if you're working outdoors, 30 minutes outside, 30 minutes in the AC, especially when you start seeing the heat index climb to values like they did today. Peoria got up to 121, Galesburg 128. This 121 value in Peoria is also a new record high heat index for this area. Lincoln 120 degrees, Bloomington 116, and Lakin 113. So those were the high heat index values we had today. Now, we also set some additional records. We observed a record warm low this morning of 77 degrees, breaking the previous record of 75. We tied a previous record in terms of our dew point. It's officially one of the more muggier days we've ever had in Peoria. We tied the previous record of 83 degrees that was originally set back in 2016 and 1990. And again, that we have observed that max heat index of 121, breaking the previous record of 119. That happened at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Now, excessive heat warnings continue for all of central Illinois. Most of us, this runs through tomorrow night. For some south of I-74, it runs through Friday. But there is some relief on the way. I'll have that full forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Rebecca Durante.
All right, Chris, thank you so much.
And this heat is also impacting some local school sports. Tomorrow, Richwood's freshman football versus Bloomington game is postponed. Congerville Eureka Goodfield District cancels varsity golf, and Morton Junior High is canceling all athletic activities. Now, these are just some of the cancellations happening across central Illinois. You can view a full list by heading to our website, ciproud.com.
And the 35th annual duck race is happening this weekend, which benefits the Center for Prevention of Abuse. And hundreds of volunteers spend time at the East Side Center in East Peoria today, tagging thousands and thousands of ducks in participation for the signature event. And
our Brianna Rittman also had a chance to tag a few ducks today, and she joins us live now in studio.
Oh, Brianna, how many ducks were there, and how does this help the center?
Well, Rebecca, Durante, this milestone year is record-breaking for the Center for Prevention of Abuse. And there were more than 200 volunteers tagging thousands of ducks ahead of Saturday's race, which is double the amount of volunteers from last year. And I even have a friend with me from the McQuacker family. Meet Miss Roja McQuacker. The center has just about 1,800 more ducks that need adoption to reach its goal of 35,000 adopted ducks. Money goes to the center to help continue providing confidential services for those who need them. And it's just $5 to adopt a duck. The center CEO, Carol Myrna, says they take pride in what they do in the duck race and all the people that support it. I'm Brianna Rittman, live.
Everybody here has a shared vision of a safe and peaceful community. We can't ask for any more than that. We work hard to make sure that people are safe, that people find healing, and people find peace.
And the fun begins Saturday at 11 at the Eastside Center in East Peoria, and race time is at 1 p.m. To adopt a duck or 5, visit duckracepeoria.com. Durante, Rebecca?
All right, thanks, Brianna, and I love to see the McQuacker family coming together.
Happy ending for all. Well, we will be right back. Stick around.